Hi everyone, I'm Catherine Martin, founder of Quiet Time Ministries. And every day I have the privilege of meeting alone with the one who actually created me, who made the world. His name is Jesus, and he is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And this is my quiet time. When I spend time with the Lord, I come to that time with varying degrees of anticipation and expectation. Sometimes I feel fired up, I just can't wait to hear what God has to say, and other times I feel battle-worn, tired, and I quietly come before the Lord praying for Him to speak to me. Well, one morning in my quiet time, I was in a more quiet mood and yet expecting God to speak to me. And I turned to one of my favorite devotionals, Voices from the Past, with Puritan devotion readings. Now, this particular one was written by Thomas Watson, a classic Puritan preacher who lived in the 1600s. Now, maybe you're wondering, how in the world can anyone from the 1600s have something to say to us now? Well, let me tell you something. Those Puritans from the 1600s knew God and His Word better than most today. And they have a lot to say. In fact, Charles Haddon Spurgeon, the great preacher, loved the Puritans, and he collected and read thousands of their books. So the verse in the devotional was Jeremiah 23:24. And anytime I read anything in Jeremiah, I always take into context the life and times of Jeremiah. He was God's man, His prophet, in a very difficult time in the history of Israel. And Jeremiah saw the people of God taken into captivity by Babylon. Jeremiah has been called the weeping prophet because of the pain and brokenness he suffered in his day. And maybe you are feeling like a Jeremiah. Maybe sorrow and suffering have been close companions for you. Well, listen to these words that the Lord gave to Jeremiah in Jeremiah 23:24. The Lord said, "Am I a God who is near, declares the Lord, and not a God far off? Can a man hide himself in hiding places so I do not see him, declares the Lord? Do I not fill the heavens and the earth, declares the Lord?" And now, listen to what Thomas Watson said in light of those words. God is the mighty King of all the earth, the high and lofty one. He is so immensely great in Himself that the heavens cannot contain Him. He made heaven and earth and can unmake them. He does whatever He wills, and He weighs the mountains in scales. Who in the heavens can be compared with the Lord? He has the highest throne, the richest crown, and the largest dominion. All the angels serve Him, and earthly kings rule by His authority. Now listen to this. I loved this. If we belong to Him, we are on the winning side. For He can destroy His adversaries with ease, pull down their pride, and restrain their malice. Let us trust this King. Trust Him with your soul, for you cannot put this jewel in safer hands. If means fail, He is never at a loss. There are no impossibilities with Him. He can make dry bones live. Don't you love hearing that today? There are no impossibilities with God. And Watson closed out the devotional by saying, "When it is good for His people, He will raise up deliverance for them. He can save by any means. The fish's belly was a ship that sailed Jonah safe to shore. God will never lack in ways to save His people. Rather than fail, God will use enemies to do His work. He delivers His people from temporal danger and from spiritual danger, sin and hell. And I loved His closing encouragement. Dare to own God in the worst of times. He is King of kings and able to reward His servants. Oh friend, that's our word for today. With God, nothing is impossible. He fills heaven and earth. He wants you to know this and trust Him with everything. You cannot put the jewel of your life in safer hands. So let us all to dare to own God in the worst of times. That's your encouragement, your marching orders for the day. He can and will do whatever it takes to accomplish His purpose and plan in your life. Nothing is too difficult for Him. Those were words for Jeremiah then, words for me in my quiet time, and words for you today. Thank you, Lord, for reminding me that nothing is too difficult for you, that there is no such thing as an impossibility. Today, Lord, I dare to own you as my God, even in the worst of times. And that's my quiet time for this week. God bless you as you continue on in the great adventure of knowing Him.